right. What's good, everybody? Yo. Welcome to the basement, where theology meets the thoughts of life. We're here on Wrath and Grace. Make sure you share and like the page, facebook.com/Wrath and Grace. We're here to promote an album, a dope album, by the way. I listened to the whole thing, and definitely one to go get. We'll give you more information on that. Visit the website, wrathandgrace.com, and the album, I believe, will be on there. There's sermons, there's shirts, there's so many things on there you can get. Make sure you check it out on wrathandgrace.com. And we do have a Facebook page, facebook.com/group/the basement. It's our group page. Join the group, and that's where we'll give you clips and just some inside scoops on what we're thinking about, and even give you the opportunity to give us some topics that we can chop up too. So I'm gonna let my man Wayne introduce and get into this.
Yo, special featurette from the basement. We're gonna be breaking down philosophy with Curt Kennedy today. What's going on, Curt?
What's up, fellas? How you doing, man?
Chilling, man. Chilling. I was able to check out the album. I heard it yesterday. For the first time. Heard it today for the second, and I'll probably be bumping this one for a minute. It's joint got 20 tracks, y'all. 20 tracks.
They don't do that no more, do they?
No, that's not heard of today. That's not heard of.
Dudes ain't got the stamina today. It's weakness out there.
I thought they was playing with me when I saw somebody share it, and I saw like the track list, and they went all the way down to 20. I was like, nah, that's crazy, man. Like, you put some work into this album, man.
Yeah,
definitely.
You feel happy with it?
I do, man. I do. I think a lot of times, I jokingly said on Cross Examine, which is a show, the podcast that I get to be on with Strack, one of the homies, one of y'all homies as well. And I jokingly said, man, I feel like a minor prophet. And the reason why is because I try to, in my music, speak to the things that are happening in the culture so that the church can be like, whoa, this is like, I know this is going on, but whoa, it's more serious than I thought. It's more. So I think from that perspective, and I think just the way I do music, man, sometimes you don't really know where you're going to end up when you're working on a project. You kind of have your ideas, you have your concerns, and then it all comes together, and you don't always realize what you were doing, what the Lord was doing, until it's completed. And then you think like, whoa, wow, I didn't expect it to be like this, and then here we are. So I am, man. I'm pleased with being able to speak to the issues that are happening in the culture, particularly stuff related to gender ideology, which I feel like people are kind of scared to touch in this day and age, apart from a few blog posts. So I felt like it was good to address it musically.
That's what's up, man. That's what's up. Those of you that are watching right now, this is different than most other interviews and promo that y'all see, because this is live. So y'all able to ask him questions and talk about some of the things that you've seen on the album. Maybe you have some questions like on why maybe you should buy the album. We can answer all of that. So go ahead and be in the comment section. We appreciate the support. Go ahead and hit the like button and share it as well. We want to get this out to as many people as possible. This is Wrath and Grace, so you already know we going to step forth and support it all the way.
Yeah.
So let's get into some of this, man. Let me ask you this. What are some first thoughts that you want your listeners to have?
I want them to be like both encouraged and concerned, to be honest. I want people to hear elements of the album where they're going to be like, wow, like I didn't really know that this is what was going on. Okay. Like there's more going on with a lot of the gender push, a lot of the, stuff that's happening in the culture. It's more than just, obviously we know it's no longer tolerated, celebrate a lot of things. So yeah. I want people to be like, wow, this is like crazy. Like I didn't even know it was that serious. But I want people to also feel like, man, I'm enjoying the project. Like I bang with it. Like I can listen to this. It's quality production, quality music.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm hoping, that it both encourages people, but it also has people appropriately concerned for what's happening in our culture.
That's what's up, man. I got 3 kids, 11, 12, and 13, and they listened to the first half of the album with me, and they were like, wow, what the heck? They're not used to hearing, because I play some good music in the car, but like overall, they're not used to hearing music with a deep message like that. You know what I mean? Like, they're just not used to hearing it. So when you were addressing some of the things that they see on a regular basis, they were like, whoa, this guy ain't playing.
Yeah, man, nah. And to be honest with you, man, I really feel like, you know, like rap has gotten increasingly boring to me personally. And a lot of it is because it's pretty much the same thing. Like, guys want you to promote their music and listen to their music. And don't get me wrong, man, a lot of guys can spit. I mean, you guys that are in the 16-bar challenge, there's a lot of guys I think they can spit better than me. But like, I don't really care about punchlines that boast about Christ all the time. Like, there's a place for that. Yeah. But I think we're right now in a real dangerous place in the culture. And the church, I feel like, is not really ready, man. So for me, I feel as a pastor who's also loves the genre of hip hop, I feel an obligation to take my music and communicate things that will help people realize, like, whoa, this is like. So I'm encouraged by that your kids is like, whoa, this isn't a game. Yeah. I personally, this is just me, my genre of music. I just don't have time for like a lot of punches and stuff like that don't really help people process like what's happening right now.
Yeah. Nah, I hear you. Even when it comes to Christian rap, I'm not a big fan of braggadocious rap. So what I mean by that is, like, Christians, we don't really rap about ourselves so much. I mean, there's some, but for the most part, when we do braggadocious rap, we're bragging and boasting in Jesus. Right. And so we just take that same element that we did in the streets or like with our secular rap, and we just flip it and put Jesus in front of it. So instead of saying I'm dope, we say Jesus is dope. Right. I'm the best. I'm the GOAT. We say Jesus is the best. He's the GOAT. And so even when it comes to like bragging on Jesus, there's a time and a place for that. But altogether, if that's all you're doing, if that's all you can do is just brag about Jesus, one, it shows immaturity. And at the same time, you never really develop your skills.
Yeah, I would agree, bro. And I think the thing with music today, like, music is relatively free and it's inundated, right? So you want people to buy your music and support you. Most artists that don't have huge platforms don't benefit from streaming, right? So like, you get pennies if you do stuff on Spotify. Let's just be honest, like, there's no one that releases music that doesn't want people to get their music. You know, we want people to hear our stuff, and even if you do it for the Lord, you want to at least recoup what you put into it because it took time and money to do it. And I think we're competing with free music, with so much stuff that you got to give people something that's worth them spending $10 for. Until you're going to put it in streaming. So I don't stream my music the first couple of months because I think it's worth your $10. And because I'm going to talk about things that you haven't thought about or haven't thought about as deeply, and not in an arrogant way, but just in a way that says, hey, I've read this stuff, I'm studying this, I'm tracking this stuff. Let me tell you what I'm seeing, and let me do it in a creative art form that you can ride out to and bump to and be informed, and then build on the things that I'm talking about for yourself.
That's what's up, man. I definitely feel that. I'm gonna run through some questions. Those of you that are in the comment section right now, feel free to throw something in the comment section. We just may be able to ask Curt Kennedy himself what it is that you have on your mind. So I'm gonna just say it like this, man. I'm gonna give you my dopest, my deepest, my favorite, the most creative, and the best track on the album. All right. So I think the dopest track on the album is "You're Jesus." I thought that one was the dopest. Like, I felt like you hit them with such hard bars, and like, hard bars don't always have to be punchlines and metaphors. Right. Yeah. Right. You just hit them with something that like caved their chest in with "You're Jesus." Then I think the deepest track was Black Mirror. Like, yo, that song might get slept on, bro. Like, that song right there, I had to listen to it about 4 times for me to actually think that I'm starting to understand it. The first time I listened, I was like, yeah, that was deep. And then by the fourth time in a row, I said, oh, that's what he meant by Black Mirror. Oh, that's what he meant by the screens. And that's what oh man, this guy ain't playing.
It's a lot of entendres, and you know, I take a lot of inspiration from like a Kendrick Lamar.
Yeah.
You don't want your music to, like, I'm not worried about rhyme schemes and multi-syllable. That's not what I do. Like, but I give you music that makes you think, and it's like, whoa, wait a minute, what? That's what I'm trying to do, at least. So that's encouraging that you realize that Black Mirror is a little deeper than.
Yeah, man. Black Mirror is. I got to listen to it again after this just to make sure I got it all. But my favorite song, and this is my kid's favorite song. I played it for him about 5 times in a row because they made me. Love is Love. Love is Love, man. That song is off the chain. Love is love and hate is hate.
That's what's up, man. I appreciate that. That's, you know, again, that's just me trying, like, you know, like, yeah. That's another thing. I'm sure you know this as an artist, like you want to give people music that they don't see coming, right? So I think in hip hop has provided a way for us to be able to sing and it not be like we singing, but like we can sing, carry a note, and it be acceptable. So, but that's an important song though, especially that reading that excerpt at the end. That's an important song.
Absolutely. Most creative song was Abomination. That to me was just. It was over the top, man. That was 2 songs in one. You found a way to do the Travis Scott and Travis Scott and Drake thing, and just like, you know, have the double feature in the song, and that's what's popping right now. But you hit him with some truth while you were doing it, not just flows.
Yeah. Now that actually, you know, it's funny. People been telling me about that song. I thought people wouldn't like it because it's kind of slow, but I don't think they realize what I'm doing. Like, I'm lulling you in. Which is what I think Obama did. He lulled us in the first 4 years. And then the second term, it was like, whoa, what just happened? How did we get to here? And that's why the second half of the song, all of a sudden, everything, you know, it just speeds up.
Oh, I see.
And we just go on that journey.
Okay. See, this is why I'm glad that we sat down and talked about this, man. This was up. I think the best song, like, it checks off all the boxes and all that, like Asking for a Friend. That song right there, whew. I listened to that one probably 10 times.
Yeah, that's you know, it's funny because I wanted to make that real simple. There's a real, man, I mean, I don't know how deep we're gonna get into that project, but there's a real war going on even within the LGBT community, and I don't know how many people realize that. I don't know how many people understand that. You know, if you saw the Dave Chappelle most recent comedy skit, and he kind of made fun of the LG and the B, he made fun of that, and he did it in a comedic way. So you kind of just laughed at him.
I was going to ask you, did you see it?
I did see it, but I'd already had that song done, I think, by the time he did that. So I just laughed hard when he did it because I already knew it existed. But there's a real war going on. Like, they kind of promoted as like this, like the African American community and civil rights, like there was more of a monolithic reality. They're kind of talked about monolithically, but they're really not at all. And so Asking for a Friend was me trying to expose the challenges that they have with each other in a real simple way with a beat that I thought would accomplish that.
That's what's up, man. Ashley said, I've been listening on repeat since February 14th. So good, the music and the message. Let me see. There's people commenting on the album.
Bill Fruits Faults. The game is my jam, he says.
The game, that's what's up.
Yeah.
Craig Robinson, You're Jesus, and Tower of Babel. I think when it was mentioned in the favorite songs.
Could you unpack a little bit that track too?
Which one?
Power of Babel?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So that, I would say Power of Babel is, for me, I would say is the deepest song on the album. And the reason why is, so when you think about what the Tower of Babel was, right? The Tower of Babel was, it was the circumstances where everyone was like-minded and the language was the same. And instead of going out, being fruitful and multiplying and going out throughout the earth, they decided they wanted to go up. So there was a sense where we're not going to obey God, we're going to be God, right? So they build up. That's the Tower of Babel. What does God do? He comes down, confuses the language, creates culture from that language, from those languages, and people go their own ways and actually are fruitful and multiply the earth. That's the Tower of Babel. The power of Babel is to try to accomplish the same thing, but in reverse. So what we see is people are being forced now to have the same mindset, the same group think about gender ideology, right? Like, how dare you think differently? We all have to agree and celebrate this group think. And then what's happening? The language is being confused. So now we got these different pronouns and different things that we got to submit to. And that confusing the language is pushing us back to be basically people of instinct and emotion and not use the senses, the common knowledge, the wisdom, even our own eyes and the functions that God created us to be specifically made in his image. So the power of Babel is where the demonic influence is to bring us back to that state where we all think the same by confusing the language. But instead of doing it the way God did it, is to go back and do it the opposite way and to do it differently. And so the power of Babel is me exposing what's really happening, and that it's really not even about gender, transgender. It's really about transhumanists. Like, the people who are behind this ideology are not satisfied with gender. That's why there's no boundaries. It keeps going and going and going. We mock trans species stuff now, but eventually there are people, billionaires, who are funding gender clinics and all this stuff in order to get us to accept that humanity is on a spectrum. First it was sex and genders on a spectrum, but now humanity is becoming on a spectrum. And right now it seems like no way, but man, they got robots that you can have sex with in the UK, brothels. And what they're doing is creating these, and some of them look like real women. They don't all look like, these like robots. Some of them are like, you gotta be kidding me, like that's a robot? And the reality is if you can get people to see humanity is really on a spectrum, what it means to be a human, then what you do is say, well, why can't I marry this robot? Because I'm transhuman. I'm not a human. You're a cishuman. I'm transhuman. And that's where it's really heading in that direction. So I wanted to show you, like, this has all happened before in the Tower of Babel, but the demonic activity is the power of Babel to pull us back to groupthink, confusing the language to make us all submit.
See, here we go, man. Yeah. Like, yeah, you definitely addressed the alphabet boys on this album. Is there anything dealing with that topic that you want to comment on right now again, or like you want to give any apologies or anything?
Nah, man, I'm not, and I think the reason why is, I think right now there are 3 verses that all believers have to be aware of. I think the 3 most important verses for us right now are 2 Timothy 3:12. Indeed, all who desire to live a godly life will be persecuted. Like, I think the church in the West does not understand that. We don't really embrace that. And so a lot of what's happening in the culture is not so much about being loving. It's about trying to avoid being persecuted. It's about trying to avoid the pressure of actually saying, hey, we tolerate each other, but I'm not celebrating you. I'm not going to celebrate that you think this way or all this way. So that's one verse. I think also Ephesians 6, man, like, we do not wrestle with flesh and blood, right? I just don't think that we take that seriously. So we see everything from a human perspective. Oh, it's the social justice warriors. Nah, it's the white supremacists. It's the white privilege. It's the LGBT. It's the conservatives. It's the progressive left. It's like, nah, the scriptures tell us, man, we wrestling with something deeper than that. And I think we have to understand that reality. And then just 2 Timothy 2:26. These are verses I mentioned on the album. Just the devil's taking people captive to do his will, right? So we don't see people like that. We see him as people that disagree with us, that get on our nerves, or they're just rebelling against God. And the scripture says, look, the devil has taken people captive to do his will. Like, these are people that need grace and need love, and we just kind of have a flesh and blood mentality. So for me, I'm not apologizing for nothing, only because I on one level, I signed up for this. I'm not looking to be persecuted, but I'm not going to run from it if it comes, especially if I'm standing for truth.
No, I feel you, bro. I feel you. Well, on a lighter note, I heard you say in the beginning of that album that your 5 albums in, is this your 6th one or your 5th one?
This is my 6th as Curt Kennedy.
Okay, 6. And you said you had no features on your previous 5.
Nah,
But you started off your album with a feature, which was Strack, the Wolverine CHH.
Right. Yeah.
I like that.
Nah, that's why I kind of joked about it too. I said you got 5 albums and no features. To be honest, I can't do features with people on my albums because I talk about things that people aren't talking about.
Okay.
Now, I'm not saying that in an arrogant way, but
like, you in your own lane.
I'm in my own lane. Like someone told me jokingly, they said, "Man, you created your own genre." And again, I'm not trying to sound arrogant at all, but I just talk about different things, man. So I can't bring people on my albums unless they've read what I've read, they've saw what I saw, they're thinking what I'm thinking, they're understanding what I'm understanding. So for me, I just don't have room to really bring people into what I'm thinking because they're usually not there. But on that song with Emotional, when I heard the beat, I was like, man, I just heard Strack on it. I was like, wow, this is gonna be different because this is like, I never have features. So I thought, you know what, let's have fun. Let's just do this and kind of set the tone for the album. But the album really starts with Dreams.
Okay.
That's when it really starts. Like Emotional was kind of like a fun introduction. Like we just gonna spit some bars. Yeah. That's typical CHH to me, what Emotional is.
Yeah, I got you.
Dreams is when the album really starts.
Yeah. See, my kids know Ab, so like they heard him on the track and they were like, "Oh, this sounds like one of his songs." So yeah, you definitely made the right choice with that one, man.
That's what's up.
No other features that didn't make the album?
No features. I mean, obviously, I have some other songs that I decided, nah, this one's going to replace that one and this and that one. But I didn't have any other features for these kinds of projects. I mean, I do have some stuff coming up in the works that will be less
extensive.
My album intro to outro, so that I'll be able to have features on it.
Okay. Listen, man, you had so much on the album. It was just, a lot. You know what I mean? So I'm curious as to the creative process too. Like, how long did it take? For you, like how long did it take, and how much work did you put in to put this album together? You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's always a tough question to answer because the process is so organic.
Right.
So it's. I don't have the kind of platform that other guys do where they got guys lined up to make beats for them. So I spent hours and hours just searching through the different SoundClick pages of guys that I've gotten beats from over the years and finding beats that I feel like match the vision that I think I'm on, and then you buying beats. Some of them you end up using, some of them you don't use. And so there's hours and hours of that. Then there's just hours and hours of reading articles, watching YouTube videos, reading books or chapters from books so that I can make sure that what I'm presenting is factual, Even if you disagree with me, I can show you the resources and where I got it from. I got a bibliography for everything. So here's where I got this from. So there's hours and hours of that. And then I think obviously the writing takes time to just sit down and think through what do I want to communicate. The beauty of what I do is I write out of order. So I don't write songs in order like this one. So I might do this song first, and now I can be like, okay, it might be the end of the album. I already said this. I know because, when everyone listens, they listen linear, right? Linear. So you go from intro to outro. But I don't do the album linear. So I'm able to hit things later or differently because I already said this. I already recorded this song. This is the second to last song on the album. I already recorded Your Jesus, so I don't got to say that stuff because I know it's going to come there, so I can kind of piece it together along the way so that the experience of the album feels like, wow, this is a narrative that's really being told in sort of a logical framework.
Yeah,
so it's a lot, man. Like again, if you're just going to write bars and kind of just do anthem kind of music for concerts, that stuff is a little bit easier for me because it doesn't, like when I wrote that verse for Emotional, I wrote that quick because that's not deep to me. That's just having some punchlines, I'm like, okay, I know Strack gonna do his thing, so I can't get murdered on my own joint right now. I gotta make sure Strack ain't gonna just kill me on my joint. So, it was more about the competition in front of that. But when I'm thinking of like the other stuff, it's like, okay, I need to really make sure it's deep and then make sure that it's deep enough that you have to listen to it more than once. You know,
Right.
even though in this day and age, attention spans are real short.
Right.
I still want to give you something that you can listen to a year later and be like, bro, this joint's still relevant.
Yeah.
This joint still bangs. And so yeah, it's a process, man. My albums take months and months. They're like mini dissertations, man.
Yeah.
It's a lot of goes into them.
What was it that EC said earlier? He said, when you get done, what did he say? He said, when you get done,
like
when you finish listening to a Curt Kennedy album, you receive an honorary doctorate degree.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a compliment, man. Because because there's only a few artists I feel like will do that still.
Yeah.
That's why I like guys like Kendrick. When you listen to Kendrick, I don't know how you guys are with secular music, but I'll still listen to some of it.
Nah, Kendrick is a beast. Cole is a beast.
Yeah, when I listen to guys like that, they put work into their art form, man, and I respect that.
And that's what's missing.
I want people to say, I don't care if people think I'm their favorite rapper, but you want to be like, hey, he put work into this joint.
Right.
Yeah.
It's good.
Let me see. Bill Fault said, he said, I'm 49 years old. I fell in love with rap, hip hop back in 1984. I love this album because it doesn't sound like anything else out there and it's saying something. And I agreed with him and I said it has a classic feel to it.
Wow, thank you, man. I appreciate that. That's humbling.
Yeah. So did you really fail drama club because you don't know how to act?
Nah, man, that's definitely just a punch. You know
Okay,
what I'm saying? That's one of them punches. Like I'm actually a good actor. You know.
That's what's up. That's what's up. What do you hope happens as a result of this album being released?
A couple things. I think one, I hope people take more seriously the culture at large, and not meme everything away, and not think that because you put a Facebook post up with 4 sentences that says that you disagree with this and you get 38 comments and 88 likes that's sufficient. Like, we need more than that. So one, I hope that people take seriously the cultural framework. 2, I hope other artists who have bigger platforms in particular for a season suspend the fun boy music for a minute and like really dig into the culture and help us like there was a time when lyrical theology was Shaolin and Lamp Mode and all that. It was like, man, these guys taught me doctrine and they taught me Reformed theology and all that, right? And then Lecrae kind of appealed to just the toughness of being a Christian and wanting all of that. And now things have changed. Like, don't get me wrong, there's still a place for that stuff, but I feel like we chasing yesterday.
Yeah.
Now the culture is in a different place, and we need more artists to say, listen, I'm taking a stand with my music, and I'm going to talk about things that are happening now and help people process them. So I hope that happens. And then thirdly, I just hope people, support the project, man. I hope people let other people know about the project, stuff like this, man. Like, in this day and age, everyone's so pressed to get on themselves that you just don't realize, like, wow, there's something that somebody's saying that's worth people hearing. So I'm hoping that people support the album, not even from I'm a pastor. My livelihood isn't music. So I'm a car artist. I don't have a desire to do any shows. Yeah. I don't want to do concerts. Like, my music is for your car and your headphones. And then to think, I'm not worried about gigging and concerts and merch, but I do want people to really process what's being said. And so I hope people support the album. So those will be the 3 things that I feel like, man, I hope this is what this album accomplishes.
That's what's up, man. AJ said, I have not felt challenged by listening to a CHH album in several years. Kudos to Curt.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's what's up, man.
Yeah. One more question, man. Did you do anything different when it came to creating this album?
That's a good question. Did I do anything different? Yeah, I made it shorter than my last 2
Are you serious?
What?
So C4 was 2.5 hours.
What?
And the appendix was an album and a documentary, so it was an albumentary.
Oh,
and that joint was almost 2.5 hours of an album. So this is the shortest album I've had since Chapter 2, which was 2014. So it definitely was shorter. I think, you know what? I always take risks as an artist, right? So I want to have music. I'm sure you brothers can relate this because you've been around hip hop. This is how you want to be surprised, right? You want your music. You don't want people to know what's coming next. You know, you don't want people to know, oh, it's a trap album, so the next beat's gonna be trap. The next beat's gonna be boom bap. Like I try to do it in such a way that you don't know what's coming next. Is he trapping? Is it boom bap? Is he singing? Yeah. Is he gonna have 2 songs in one? Yeah. So I think the only thing I said I did differently was I recorded this album differently. Like it wasn't like, man, I got to go to the studio tomorrow, so I got to write 2 songs by tomorrow because I'm going to the studio. This one, like I wrote a lot of them ahead of time, thought through them, sometimes changed things up to make sure that I was communicating like with urgency what I was getting at. And normally I'm like, oh man, I'm not done. I got to go to the studio. I got a noon appointment. It's 8 a.m. I got to knock out 2 joints in order to maximize my time. Nice. With this album, I was like, nah, I'm just going to take my time with it. I'm not in any rush, and I can spread it out. And I think that allowed me to go in certain places because I wasn't rushing it.
That's what's up, man. That's what's up. Is there any other questions that you had?
Now, I actually appreciated some of the, like, you know, quoting Chuck D and taking it back too. You know, I saw you did it a couple times. You're
the first one to catch that. There's a lot of '90s references.
Yeah, man.
There's a lot of them. Because I'm from that era, so I thought that is one thing I did differently. I used a lot of references to hip hop from my era, the '90s, that golden era. Yeah, like the Craig Mack joints you hear on OD. You might be around next year. You had the little beat in the background. Right. There's a few things like that burn Hollywood burn, that Chuck D. Oh yeah. That song. So there's a few of those on the album, man, and I think that's there. But I would say to listen to the album, and there's themes on the album. So LGBT is only one theme. There's a gun theme on the album. Some people are like, man, how does I got a gun fit? There's a gun theme on the album, and you got to trace the theme. I'm talking to the church, like Black Mirror. That's a song that's critiquing the church's affinity for technology and it damaging our witness to such a degree that we're walking away from the faith. We're too addicted to online sexual things that we can't stand up for truth, or that we're so inundated with technology that we're socially awkward without it. So you look at each of those stories are all highlighting the reality of that. So that was different because I usually don't do music like that. So songs like that were somewhat different on this project. And I'm grateful to do them. When I did it, I was like, I wonder how this is going to go. And then when I record, I was like, oh, okay, this one came out. And so hopefully people see that.
Yeah. That's what's up, man. Let them know where they can get that at.
So right now I don't stream. So you can get it at, there'll be links on the Cross Examine Facebook page. There'll be links there. But you can get it at iTunes. If you go to the iTunes store, you can get it at iTunes. You have to go to the iTunes, not Apple Music, because it won't be there yet. But iTunes, the store is there. Amazon Music has it. Bandcamp has it. And Wrath and Grace will have it.
Nice. That's what's up, man. So, yeah, after hearing this album and reflecting on some of your previous work, I'm not only tipping my hat off to you, I'm hard pressed to name a better pastor / rapper / leader combo out here. I was really sitting thinking, like, how do I describe how I'm feeling and what I just heard and what I've witnessed with this one right here. You're one that not only preaches and pastors faithfully, but also makes great, deep, hard-hitting and evangelical music in a certain way that you do it, man, like in your own lane.
Thank you, bro. No, I appreciate that, man. That means a lot.
Yeah, man. Yeah, this was
appreciate you brothers and what y'all do too.
Yeah, bro. You already know. So we gonna wrap it up, man. We gonna wrap it up. You guys can check us out on Wednesday. We're going live. We're gonna do our next episode in the basement. We're gonna have the brother E.C. Holmes with us, and we're gonna be defending the deity of Christ. So y'all make sure y'all tune in on Wednesday, 9 p.m. Eastern time, right here on the Wrath and Grace page.
And they better tune in to Cross Examine because you got the 16 that you in that contest.
Yeah, that too.
Running for that $500.
That too. I'm part of that Cross Examine rap competition. So y'all make sure y'all tune in. Go and like both of the pages. Go ahead and like the Basement Facebook group page, and then go ahead and like the Cross Examine Facebook group page, and you can you can already know what's going on with everything going on with Wrath and Grace and with us.
And the podcast on the website also. You can subscribe to it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yep. wrathandgrace.com. Go on there. I think it's the Wrath and Grace radio tab, and you just go right the network or something like that.
Yeah.
And then you can click on there and you can download and stream all of the podcast episodes for free.
Yeah.
iTunes as well. You can get all that stuff from podcasts,
iTunes,
podcasts,
Spotify. Like it's
all
like
that stuff.
mad different platforms.
I hate Spotify. I'm a Spotify hater, but
really? Wait. What do you hate about Spotify?
You know what? I don't hate Spotify. I hate when people flash their Spotify numbers.
Oh, okay.
And
all
so
right.
it makes me not
yeah,
like Spotify because it's
okay.
like, man, who cares? You got paid in 84 countries. So what, fam?
Yeah. Nah, I see a lot of that.
16 contest to my man Jay Brooks over here.
Yo, oh man, I'm ready for it. When is the next episode?
Crazy,
is it Wednesday?
Well, Wednesday, yeah. Wednesday, the head-to-head will be announced. But then on Friday, on the episode, you'll have to hear what you got to actually do.
Oh, so Wednesday I find out who I'm against, and then
Wednesday you're gonna find out who you against, and then Friday's episode, the drops Friday morning cross-examine episode, you'll find out what you have to actually do because it's different second round. It ain't just gonna be a voting contest. It's different.
Oh
the
man,
judging is a little evaluated differently. Hey, listen, we ain't giving no $500 away to people who can't rap for real.
Nah, I hear you, bro.
Whoever wins this money gonna earn it, but in a good way, man. It's been good. It's been a fun. Just let me say this lastly. A lot of people have gotten to me and been like, "Bro, this contest is dope. Like, I like what you're doing. They like how everybody's competing. Your Aaron Gordon post, loved it, bro. Loved it, bro. That joint was classic.
Oh man, I told my wife when I posted, I said, things is going to get a little interesting after I post this.
Yeah, but you know what though? I think people felt you with that because I know some people who decided, you know what, man, I think he's right. They unvoted for who they voted for.
Bro,
they voted for you, bro.
Bro, I told you, yo, them votes for the other people, they slowed down right after I made that post.
Bro, listen, all things go. So it's like, you know, and to be honest, you were one of the people out there. Were certain people. It's not our control, but there were certain people we were like, they need to get to the second round and then that final four. Like there's certain people I want to see in the final four that I think would be it'd be just a fun competition, man. So I'm excited that you're still in it and others are.
Yeah, that's what's up.
Dope.
That's what's up, man. Ken said, "Are y'all brothers reformed?" I can speak for myself. I would say that I definitely follow under the reformed teaching. So. However you want to take that. How about you? Yeah.
Not a hill to die on, though.
Yeah.
You know, but definitely I'm reformed.
Yeah, it's not the gospel, but I'm reformed, though. I'm reformed, definitely. I would say I'm essentially reformed. Essentially reformed.
I agree, man. Anyway, we going to get out of here, man. God bless y'all. Thank y'all for tuning in. Curt, thanks for joining us.
I appreciate you.
All right, man.
Brother.